everyone. Welcome into my Freckle Love office. I'm Martha Barnett. I'm a presenter with Unique, and I'm here today to talk to you about concealer around your eyes. I've had a couple of questions from gals that have really dark circles underneath the eyes. How do I fix that? So here we go. I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to treat the under eye area, and I'm going to show you what not to do. I'm also going to talk about whether or not you are a younger gal or, like me, a seasoned veteran, because you're going to have different skin types and different skin issues. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to go on this eye and show you the proper way to apply the concealer. Now, I have my Unique concealer, which has a little doe foot applicator, has a little bit of concealer right there in the well at the tip of the wand. And I'm going to go in and just put a little bit of concealer on my outer eye, going up. I always want to go up. I want to pull gravity up. And I'm going to put some right here on the inner corner, again, going up. I am not going to put any directly underneath the eye because I have a lot of crepiness, I have a lot of wrinkles, I have a lot of sagging and drooping underneath my eye because of my age. Now, if you are a younger gal and droopiness, crepiness, wrinkles, those are not issues for you, you can go ahead and do like an inverted triangle underneath the eye. If you have, particularly if you have dark circles and you're worried about covering those up, you can try it. I suggest you experiment. There are always rules about makeup, just like there are rules in fashion or hair or anything else. And rules are made to be broken. What works for some people may not work for you and vice versa. So experiment, try, see what works and see what doesn't. A lot of women my age, if they apply makeup directly underneath the eye, they'll end up getting a lot of cakiness and it will actually accentuate the problem and make it look worse. We don't want that. So I do this to avoid that. If you're a younger gal and you don't have issues with lots of wrinkling, go ahead and try the inverted triangle and see if that works for you. Now, I'm going to take a sponge and I'm going to dampen it with a little bit of setting spray. You could use water. I'm just not near a sink. So I'm going to use a little bit of setting spray. And then I'm just going to pat gently to blend that in. Okay, I'm not going to rub. I'm not going to pull. I'm just going to gently do this. Now, I generally do this after I've applied a foundation. I have not applied my foundation today because I'm just showing this as a quick tutorial. But I normally would do this after foundation because that gives me a better idea of how much I need to apply. My foundation does a really good job of covering up most minor skin blemishes and discolorations and that sort of thing. So I don't use a lot of concealer, but I usually put it on after my foundation so I can judge better how much I need to apply. I also am very careful to do this and check it in the mirror with my glasses because I do have issues with my vision and I want to make sure I get that blended in really well. So sometimes it's kind of hard to tell when I'm just looking in a regular mirror. So I use a magnifying mirror. Okay, now, what I was saying before, I have seen a lot of women, and this is what we used to do in the old days, is to go like this, okay? Because they had those dark circles underneath the eye and they wanted to cover those up, so they did this number. Now, here's the problem, and we'll see if you can see the difference. Let me put a little more setting spray. I'm gonna pat that in. And yes, it is going to brighten that whole eye area up. And even with Unique concealer, it'll probably be difficult because it's such a good product. But what will happen is that over time, underneath here, what you will see is a lot of creasing, a lot of caking, because it's going to gather in those creases. Okay, so you have to be really careful. When I look up really close, I can see that it's really actually made that look even worse. And you need to set this, whichever method you're using, you need to set it with a little powder. I've got some setting powder here, and I'm going to apply that with a sponge on both sides to make sure it's all set and it's not going anywhere. And I think you'll see after I apply the powder, this side actually looks much better. This side looks like I'm trying to cover up a lot of issues, and it just doesn't look as good. But again, you experiment, you do you, see what works for you. All right, so that is my little tutorial on concealer around the eyes. If you have any questions, be sure to pop them in the comments down below or feel free to DM me. I hope that if you enjoyed this tutorial, you'll like, subscribe, follow, give me a heart, ring that bell. I appreciate you being here. See you next time. Bye-bye.